We're on a road trip today, and we've traveled all the way west to Sweetser, Indiana, and I'm with Richard Winger. And Dick, what an incredible collection here. We're at your museum called Yesterday's Wheels, and you've been collecting motorcycles and old cars and aviation history for a long time. Tell us about your museum here.
Well, I've been a collector. I've been riding motorcycles for 57 years. And I got into the old ones about 45 years ago, I guess. And a lot of these machines, when I was still working, were stored all over the place. And finally, I decided that after I retired, that I was going to have to build me a building. So that's the way this building got started. And I built this building in the year 2000. And it's been growing ever since. I've got about, I think I have about 48 vehicles in here right now. But I specialize in motorcycles that was built by Schwinn. People don't realize that in the old days, Schwinn built motorcycles. He built a fabulous motorcycle. Very, very well built and very fast. But he quit building motorcycles in 1931. But he goes back to 1908. And I have a 1910 Schwinn battery ignition belt drive bike sitting right over there.
And Dick, one thing that I think is incredible about your museum is everything runs.
If it doesn't run, I don't want it.
Occasionally, people here in Sweetser see you going down the road on something unique.
Oh, they're used to it. They're used to it. I put them old leather flying helmet and goggles, you know, they don't. Even the law doesn't pay much attention to me here, you know. But I don't do anything really wrong, you know. But I have to test it now and then, take it out for a little drive, you know.
What is it that drives this passion for old motorcycles?
Well, Ray, I love history. My family go back around Sweetser here 155 or 156 years. My grandfather drove the first automobile that ever went down Main Street in Sweetser.
What kind of car?
It was called a Leader, and it was built in Knightstown, Indiana, in 1904. Then my regular grandfather built the first gasoline-powered tractor in this area. He used parts from steam engines to build a gasoline-powered tractor. So I just love history, and I love local history, family history, World War II history. I'm just a real nut about that stuff.
Over here in the corner, you have quite some personal things from Charles Lindbergh.
Yes, Charles Lindbergh, I'm a real fan of his, and he was quite a man. And when you consider when he crossed the Atlantic, he was only 25 years old. To me, that's just a kid.
And he did it with just a compass in his watch. That's what's amazing to me. Never heard of GPS then.
No, that's right. But he liked to ride motorcycles, and he rode Excelsiors. The Excelsior motorcycle was built by Schwinn. And there again, I like Excelsior, so there's our tie together there. I probably have more Charles Lindbergh stuff over there than probably any place that I know of, at least in the state of Indiana. A lot of Lindbergh stuff. Lindbergh took all these pictures. Before Lindbergh crossed the ocean, here's a nice picture of him right there, on his motorcycle. He rode a motorcycle about like that 1918 Excelsior over there. Him and a friend of his who had this old car, they took a trip from Minnesota, Illinois, Indiana, and I think Kentucky. He was only 25 when he crossed the ocean. He was only about 22 years old when he did this. And Lindbergh's the type of guy that he took all these pictures, okay? He took all these pictures, and every time he would take a picture, somewhere he would make a note. He would make a note of what was on that picture. Now, this is all his writing. He's got pictures in here of when his motorcycle broke down, if I can find them. There he is on a road, and his motorcycle stuck so much in the mud that he gets off of it, and the motorcycle stands up. Now, you'll notice, Ray, that motorcycle's a great deal like that one right over there with the great big headlight on it. It's about the same thing, except this is about 1921, and that's 1918, but they're close a lot alike. This is a Lindbergh watch. It's an inexpensive watch, but very collectible today, because on the back of it, I'm sure she can't see this, there's a picture of the plane, and on the front, it's the watch. And these watches all run yet. This watch probably only cost about $1.50 in 1927.
But that was a lot of money in 1927.
That's right. Now, there was everything for everybody. Here's a silver woman's compact. You see the airplane on it right here? And what does it say? It says May something or other, 1927. See, women, I don't know what you call that. That's when they make them, the powder.
Out of their nose.
That's right, powder their nose. This is a little bit older watch, but this has a little watch fob. You see what that is, Ray?
It's a compass.
It's a compass. Yeah. It says New York to Paris. Here's a pencil box. Here's got Lindbergh on it. Lindy.
Yeah, they used to call him Lucky Lindy.
Lucky Lindy, that's right. So, and here they had a woman's handkerchief. There again with the airplane on it. Okay. And all of this stuff, everybody got in on the act. Lindbergh wrote a book called We. He was quite a book writer after he crossed the Atlantic. These here were popular in funeral homes.
Amazing.
Churches. Yeah. And that advertise, they gave these out. And he advertised
his book.
Lindbergh, taken years later. Here he is with Orville Wright. Here's a picture of him with Henry Ford. There's Henry standing there, and there's one of Ford's airplanes.
Ford Flivver.
Ford Flivver.
Yep.
And here's a motorcycle that belonged to Lindbergh. The ones I was showing you stuck in the mud, well, there's that motorcycle today, and that motorcycle's up at Henry Ford Museum. This letter here was written March of 14th, 1927, and believe it or not, he was staying at the U.S. Grant Hotel, which is in San Diego. And it doesn't say that in this letter, but that's when they were building, the Ryan Aircraft Company was building his airplane.
To get ready for the trip.
To get ready for the trip. I do have a letter around here somewhere that when he was flying the airmail from St. Louis to Chicago, he actually threw it out of the airplane. Now that's real airmail.
That's real airmail.